Welcome back to our protein and the benefits of its individual amino acids episodes. Hi, my name is Jerry Hickey. I'm a pharmacist who also has studied nutrition, and I'm over here at Invite Health. I'm also the scientific director. And we're going to finish up our discussion of protein and the benefits of its individual amino acids today. Please be sure to subscribe to the Invite Health podcast. Please leave us a review. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. All of the information on today's episode will be linked in the episode description, and you can visit invitehealth.com/podcast for more information. So let's get going. When we talk about protein supplements, we're generally discussing adults. For infants and children, I would really discuss it with their pediatrician because their needs are going to vary. Now, protein can be used for healing after an injury, and it depends on what tissue is injured. So if it's muscle or the intestines, you want to use whey protein. If it's your skin or if it's joint tissue or a bone, you want to use collagen, because collagen is not a complete protein. It doesn't replace whey, but it is a structural protein, and it's very well utilized for healing certain tissues, like ligaments, tendons, your meniscus under your knees, your joint tissue, the cartilage in your joint, your bone tissue. Help for surgery. Before surgery and after surgery, depending on how intense the surgery is, I may recommend using L-glutamine or whey protein to give additional benefits for healing, but I always recommend L-arginine. You can look it up. You can Google it. You can go into something called Amino Nutrition. In fact, go to PubMed. That's the Library of Congress platform for storing millions of studies. Type in Amino Nutrition, and many studies will come up where they use a combination of zinc and a supplement called nucleotides and the amino acid L-arginine, and they give it to people before surgery. It could be all kinds of surgery: open heart surgery, liver surgery, colon cancer surgery. It reduces the risk of infections. It reduces the risk of complications related to the surgery, and it speeds up the rate of healing, and it gets people out of the hospital generally in better shape and frequently at a faster rate. During illness, I use different amino acids. I use different protein sources. For instance, if it's an infection, I might want to give arginine and whey protein. But if it's an illness in the intestines, I might want to give glutamine, because glutamine is so important for maintaining the lining of the intestines. Now, for obese people, while they're dieting, you don't want to lose muscle, you want to lose fat. So I give them whey protein for a number of reasons. The whey protein helps them adjust their blood sugar. Obese people typically have problems adjusting their blood sugar. Whey protein makes them feel satiated. In other words, they feel more full and satisfied with the amount of food they ate. But whey protein also creates glutathione. Levels of glutathione drop when you're dieting, and glutathione is a very important antioxidant to protect you from environmental toxins and your body's own metabolism. During detoxification, to create glutathione, I give either whey protein or I give the individual amino acid NAC. These are used to remove toxins from the body. In fact, you can use both. These stimulate pathways in the liver and kidneys that break down toxins, that turn them off and activate them and remove them from the body. For sports, for muscle accretion, in active people and physically active people, I use whey protein, but you can also use soy. I just like whey better. For diabetics and pre-diabetics, whey protein has been shown, if you take a scoop after a meal, it's been shown to help them balance their blood sugar. So protein, it's important in every cell in your body. Every cell in your body, your skin, your hair, your nails, they're mostly made out of protein. The foundation of your bone, it's called the organic matrix. The thing that calcium adheres to make bone crystals, made out of protein. Your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, your spine's almost completely protein. If you look at the spine, it can't be one continuous bone like your thigh bone. It has to be separated bones. They're called vertebrae. Otherwise, you couldn't bend. So each one of them has to be held in place by a facet joint. That's made out of collagen protein. The bone themselves is mostly protein. And then in between each vertebrae, there's a cushion called a spinal disc. That's made out of protein, mostly collagen, and water. So protein like rebuilds your entire body. The lining of your intestines, the lining of your blood vessels, the additional insulation in the blood vessels in the brain is made out of protein. That's called your blood-brain barrier. See, things in the bloodstream are not supposed to be able to enter the brain if the brain doesn't have a use for them, because they could be quite toxic to the brain. So the blood vessels in the brain have extra insulation called the blood-brain barrier to keep things entombed in the blood vessels so they can't get into the brain. And this keeps you alive. This keeps you healthy. We use protein to make the valves in our heart, the filters in our kidneys. I mean, it's just structural all over the body, everywhere in your body. The enzymes in our body that make our body run, but also the enzymes that we release from our pancreas and our duodenum. The duodenum is the first part of your small intestine that digest our foods. Our blood uses protein to move things around, like you've heard of blood albumin, that moves things around. And you use protein to carry around fats like cholesterol and LDL and HDL. You use protein to move around vitamins and minerals and antioxidants from foods like lutein, which is so important for your eyeball and your brain and your memory. The hemoglobin that makes our blood red. It's interesting. I tell people to think about your blood cell as balloons. Like if they were green or blue or yellow or orange, that's the blood type, like A or B. But inside the balloon, they're all the same. It's red. That's the hemoglobin. That's made out of protein, and that's what carries oxygen around the body. Now, the antibodies, our B cells, are released during an infection, like at about the 7th day typically. The B cells create the antibodies that give us resistance to viruses and bacteria. They're made out of protein. So protein's very important. It's key for the immune system. Many of the hormones that keep our body running are made out of protein, like our thyroid hormones that give us energy and metabolism, our insulin that controls our blood sugar, related growth factors like insulin type growth factor 1 and insulin type growth factor 2, they're for building and healing our tissues. They're made out of protein. The cartilage in our joints, the lining of our blood vessels, the lining of our lungs. I mean, it's just everywhere. Protein's everywhere. It builds us, it repairs us, it replaces us. Now, protein can be a source of emergency energy. It's not the best choice for energy. Protein's not your body's first choice or even a second choice for getting energy. That's reserved for carbohydrates and fats. Carbohydrates the first choice, fats are the second choice. But when you're running low on calories, like in between meals and you're doing exercise, physical activity, so if you're a serious athlete or you have a very physical job, you can thank protein for keeping you going past the point of normal, of the normal amount of energy stored in your muscles or in your liver. Let's go to a break. You're listening to Jerry Hickey, Invite Health. This episode, we're talking about protein and the effects of the individual amino acids. We'll be right
back. This podcast is brought to you by InviteHealth.com. For over 20 years, Invite Health has provided premium quality supplements and expert advice you can trust. Now, first-time customers can enjoy an exclusive offer. Visit invitehealth.com/podcast or click the link in this episode description. That's invitehealth.com/podcast for your exclusive offer on Invite Health products. Invite Health offers the resources you need to make important decisions about your health. Chat live with degreed healthcare professionals, get product information, and find retail locations near you at invitehealth.com. You can also learn about our new genetic testing program and our exclusive Invite Fitness Wellness program. Follow Invite Health on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast today. Now back to our episode.
Okay, welcome back. We're discussing protein. Protein's a muscle builder. We've discussed this a number of times. You need protein to keep up the size and shape of your muscles. Protein is key to building muscle, but protein's also a bone strengthener. The studies show if you get enough protein in your diet, it improves your bone health. And I mentioned this before. The core of your bone, it's called the organic matrix, is protein. And 35 to 36% of your bone is made out of this. And it's what all the calcium and other minerals and everything else attaches to create bone. So if you get enough protein, it lowers your chance of developing bone loss, osteopenia, and osteoporosis by helping you hold on to your bone strength and bone density. So it's going to help prevent fractures. Protein boosts your immune system. If you're dieting, you have to make sure you get enough protein. The amino acids are key players in your immune system. Your T cells need them. These turn on the immune system, they steer the immune system, and after an infection is done, they help turn off the immune system. Otherwise, the immune system becomes very dangerous. Your B cells, the antibodies, they're made out of protein. These are the germ fighters that spot and kill harmful microbes that enter your body before they can really harm you. Protein cuts cravings. We discussed this. You take protein after a meal, you feel full. Protein balances your blood sugar. Protein burns fats. Protein's actually a heart helper. Studies on protein show that some proteins can help lower your blood pressure, like they show dairy protein, whey protein. It can also decrease your LDL bad cholesterol. That lowers your risk of heart disease. Protein heals injuries. So there's a reason why protein is called the building block of your body's tissues and organs. It powers your wound healing. It's faster. It reduces inflammation. It creates new tissue at the site of an injury. Protein moves nutrients throughout your body. So if you think of your bloodstream as a series of streams and canals, proteins are the ships. They're the barges, they're the boats that carry the vitamins, the minerals, the sugars, the cholesterol, and the oxygen throughout your bloodstream, throughout your body, and delivers it to the cells and tissues that need them. Some proteins even store certain nutrients like iron. So you have to have a backup supply when you need the iron. So you need enough protein in your diet. Can you get too much protein? Yeah, I mentioned that before. Too much protein will turn into sugar and can make you fat. Now, as I mentioned before, whey protein is my favorite as far as a supplement. It's very safe. It's been used in many human clinical trials. It's dairy protein. Protein is made out of casein and whey. The protein in cow's milk is 20% whey and 80% casein. But the protein in mother's milk is mostly whey, not casein. So when you take whey, it's more like mother's milk, human mother's milk, and that's probably why it works better for healing us and building us and supporting muscle strength and supporting our health in general. Studies show that whey is important for muscle formation, recovery of your muscle after exercise, like weightlifting or running, better control of your appetite, improving burning of body fats, improving your blood sugar control. If you need to know more about protein, contact one of our nutritionists. We have excellent nutritionists at Invite Health. Thank you for tuning into the Invite Health podcast today. You can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen, or by visiting invitehealth.com/podcast. Please make sure you subscribe. Please leave us a review. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. We'll see you next time on another episode of the Invite Health podcast. Thank you so much for listening.